Hi, everybody. Welcome to the webinar for Google Adapters for Integration Suite today. I would be taking you through the new portfolio adapters that SAP has recently launched in the area of the Google Suite. I'm just looking at the time. I think we can already start. Please be aware that the meeting is also being recorded. Quick sharing of the agenda. So today I will tell you a little bit about us, Roku integrations. We will talk about the third-party connectivity with the cloud integration, and we will do a deep dive in the Google Suite related adapters. So we will be covering the Google PubSub, Google Cloud Storage, and we will have a sneak preview of the most recent launched adapter, which is the Google BigQuery. So we will also look at that adapter. And then we would run a demo with Google PubSub and Google Cloud Storage and open the forum for any questions that you might have in the whole process. Okay, who are we? So we are Roku Integrations. You might be aware about us. We are SAP partners since 2011, and we have global presence in offices in the Netherlands, Spain, and India. We specialize in all things integration from that perspective, and third-party connectivity is one of the specializations that we have. We have various strategic partnerships with SAP and the parties that work together and strengthen the ecosystem. So, for example, Solus, Splunk, Coupa, and others. And you can find the content that has been delivered by us not only on the integration suite itself, but also in the API Business Hub as form of integration content, along with additional discovery missions that you would also be able to see in the SAP discovery mission area. Now, looking at the SAP integration suite and third-party connectivity for any integration platform, it is really, really important that it not only stays and connects to certain applications or niche applications, but is open for connection to as many as applications out there, right? And that has been one of the things that we do for integration suite. We see recently a lot of new connectivity options being launched in the native integrated cloud integration. And these are, for example, the Coupa, Salesforce, Workday. You would see every release, every month or so, we have more and more adapters coming up. And that, of course, is part of the strategy that integration suite is not only a suite which is responsible for integrating SAP applications, but also third-party applications, so non-SAP applications in that area. And that is where we are today going to be also stressing. And that is where we would look at the Google family-related adapters, which have been recently launched. You would see, if you look at the roadmap that SAP publishes for adapters, you would see quite a few adapters upcoming as well, up in the 4 quarters and also beyond that. There's a complete 5-year roadmap for over 50 plus adapters, which would be launched through it. You would see things like Shopify and Google Drive and all of those. In that list, you already also see quite a few adapters have been launched already in through 2024 and 2025, namely HubSpot or NetSuite or Jira. You might have had a chance to use those ones as well. Keep in mind, you can, of course, influence the SAP adapter roadmap by putting requests on the Influence portal. I will show the link to that towards the end of the our webinar. So you should be able to, in case you have requirements of any additional third-party connectivity, SAP is always listening. So put it there and you would be able to influence what comes earlier. Now, let's move to the main topic of today's webinar, which is the Google adapters. Google adapter and content. Before we deep dive into the technical details, I just wanted to highlight some of the benefits that we get when we do use these adapters, right? There might be a lot of questions in your mind that if you look at it, a lot of it can be achieved through yeah, basic configurations. You can always read technical documentation and do things through it. What benefits would an adapter or related content would draw? So if you look at it from business benefits perspective, it's faster time to value. A lot of times, if you have the content or the adapter readily available, to be able to use it quickly without knowing a lot of technical details in the background is one of the things that you can really rely on when you have the adapter. It's also easy to try and solve the business case that you might have. It results in lower cost because, of course, you spend less time and you don't have to build anything from scratch for that matter. It's a scalable solution. It's tested heavily in the cloud integration framework itself. Along with that, it's also compatible with anything which is upcoming in the cloud integration platform. So there's a reduced risk. So for example, when there's an upgrade in the underlying Java or Camel version upgrades happen, the adapters are thoroughly vetted and tested along with the integration content for it. So the risk of breaking things is less, and it increases the business agility, therefore. If you look at it from IT perspective, the integrations become simplified because a lot of times to do the same simple integration, you might have to do 2 or 3 step orchestration in the background. And with that adapter, a lot of those things are taken care in the background. So you don't have to worry about it. It would just look like a simple step, but in the background, a lot of heavy lifting has been done already. Then you have reduced maintenance effort, like I mentioned, with various upgrades. Also, if Google changes something here in their APIs or way of working, then the adapter gets updated automatically. You get a newer version. If CI changes something, the same thing happens, right? So all of that is fully tested and automatically managed by SAP itself. The standardization is one of the factors. All the adapters would have the same standard related features out there for you, right? And in case of integration content, there would be predefined mappings that you can quickly use to get up and running. Looking at some of the common use cases that we would have. So like I mentioned, we will talk about 3 adapters today. We would have the Google PubSub. If you look at it, it is one of the products in the Google Suite, which help with the event-driven architecture. So here you would be able to publish to topics and subscribe from them. And along with that, it also gives you horizontal scaling. So any workflow orchestrations that you do, or a lot of data, if it needs to be streamed or so, then Google PubSub plays a very crucial role in that. And it's heavily used by big organizations and is trusted for scale. So you can really build good, solid workflows on top of it. With Google Cloud Storage, it's more of a storage data archiving backup type of solution. In situations of disaster recovery, for example, if you have to do that, it also acts as a data staging layer. So if you need to put the data somewhere, you want to read it later, or you want to hold it while you process it. All of that can be done in Google Cloud Storage, along with media hosting. So for example, for your websites, if you want to put images and stuff, you can also host it there. So that's a few use cases of Google Cloud Storage. And then you have the BigQuery, which is the business intelligence side of this data. And you would see you can do machine learning, predictive analytics on it, real-time analytics on the data. So if you look at these three, they are kind of, they work very well together and very much focused on the load and working with a lot of data with streaming or non-streaming situations. A lot of use cases also combine more of these services together. So it's not necessary that you only have one of them in a flow. There are a lot of organizations that can have all three of these services in one go. So one simple scenario would be, for example, a PubSub is used to ingest real-time data, for example, user clicks or IoT-related data. Then the Google data flow processes that data, cleans it in the transit, and that processed data then is stored in cloud storage for raw or backup format for keeping that data. And then in turn, this same data is loaded in BigQuery, where you can do the analytics and dashboarding and all the other things that you would want to um, do to derive insights from that data. So you see these components kind of fit together as Lego blocks and help you make a scenario which would be applicable for your own business. Now, looking at the adapter itself, because all three of these adapters belong to the Google Suite, the authentication for all three of them is identical. So we support two types of authentications for these adapters. We have the OAuth2 service account and workload identity federation as part of the authentication mechanisms. All three of these adapters support both of these. We have the sender type, adapter type as sender and receiver. So you would see for Google PubSub and Google Cloud Storage, you have both the possibilities to read data from them and write data to them. So you would see the sender and receiver adapter. For Google BigQuery, we only have the receiver adapter to start with. So wherever you need to use it, you can use it with the request reply step on the end step. Then we have the message protocol. It depends on the adapter, which type of protocol is used. In general, if I have to summarize it, then two types of protocols are used underlying these three adapters. We have the REST and we have the gRPC. The gRPC is specifically for the Google PubSub, where we create subscriptions to listen to the topics. Then we have supported runtime. So all of these adapters are supported in the cloud integration runtime, edge integration cell runtime as well. Let's look at the Google PubSub adapter quickly. I will show this adapter to you in the system itself. Let me quickly go through the very high level things that you can do with it. So if you look at the Google PubSub sender adapter, here you can poll messages from the subscriptions, and that one uses the REST protocol. And you can listen. So depending on your use case, you can decide if you want to have an active listener, then use a subscription model. If you think polling in between would be better for you, then use a poll method. And these two are supported through two variants of this adapter. Yeah, it also supports for duplicate check and gives you processing handling. So say, for example, when do you want to acknowledge a message? All of this is a possibility. Looking at the receiver adapter, you have two objects that we support. So we support topics and subscriptions. In topics, you can publish and you can list this set of topics that you have. For subscriptions, you can acknowledge a message or you can modify the acknowledgement deadline of a specific message. So those two are the possibilities. Receiver adapter works with the REST protocol. And here all the standard cloud integration related features are supported. So dynamic header property, camel expression supported, no problem. Additional modes are there, basic and advanced mode, which would help you either encode data requirements or not. And any custom message attributes or ordering key are supported as well. Now, looking at the Google Cloud Storage, which is the file related one here, for sender adapter, we can read file from buckets directories with a search pattern. And it supports polling, duplicate check, all standard features that a specific file related adapter should support is supported by the Google Cloud Storage adapter as well. Yeah, and here for the receiver, you can do create, read, update, delete operations on buckets, folders, and objects which are files, for example. And when you actually create an object, you also have the possibility to do the resumable upload. So if it's a big file, you would rather do a resumable upload. So all of that possibility is provided with additional pagination related information or so. And then we have the Google BigQuery, where we support the data sets, job models, etc., and create, read, update, deletes on these operations. Like I mentioned here, we don't have a sender adapter. Here, we only have a receiver adapter. Here as well, you can do custom queries and you can have custom request response. And this one, we also have the Cloud Connector support enabled. Okay, let's look in the system. Okay, this is my cloud integration tenant. And here I have my Google PubSub sender adapter. This one, the message protocol here is gRPC. If so, this means this is the listener version of it. If you would want to do the polling, then you get the message protocol. You can select it, and there it would be the rest. Here in connection, like I mentioned, here we have two types of authentication. So you could take the workload identity federation or OAuth to service account and go further with it. And in the processing, you provide the ID of the project, the subscription ID, and what you want to do in case of post-processing. So acknowledge after successful processing, acknowledge immediately, or do not acknowledge. These are the options that you would have. And an additional duplicate check in case you won't want a duplicate check on the ID of the message. Looking at the receiver, similar connection properties here. In the processing, you would have the, like I mentioned, with subscriptions and topics, and here publish message is the most common one, which you would be using quite a lot. But along with that, there is also other possibilities to list all the topics that you might have. If you want to design a iFlow where this needs to be dynamic, then that is something that you can do. Additionally, while writing the messages, if you would want to add custom message attributes or so, you can add them here. So then, of course, all of this is also supported through the dynamic headers and properties. So you don't have to put the fixed information here. You could set them in the content modifier before, or do it through camel expressions, and all of that would work. Cloud storage. Here you would say this is REST-based. And similar details for the connection. For processing, you would need a bucket name. You would need the directory, file name. You can decide to include subdirectories while bringing in the files. The file name, of course, supports a complete pattern. So you could do with stars and with plus, and like all standard patterns are supported here. And you can, of course, provide how many max results would you want in one poll, along with the possibility of a duplicate check and additional post-processing options. Like, for example, you want to delete the file after you've read it, or you want to just keep it or archive it to another place. Then you also select that and provide additional information. Along with that, you have the possibility to do encryption. So with a custom key or, object encryption custom key, or with the destination object with custom key. So that is also a possibility that you have here. With the receiver, you would be having multiple options. So not only would you be able to just create a file, but you would also be, for example, with the folders, you would be able to do create, read, update, delete, rename. With the files or objects, you would be able to compose, create, delete, get list, patch, or rewrite. So all of these different options are possible. And here the content of the incoming stream here would be the content of your object. Okay, let's quickly look at the BigQuery before I take you to the demo. Yeah, here different types of entities which are supported are data sets, job models, tables, table data, one of the most commonly used ones. And here you could do bulk inserts or insert all. All of that is supported as well. And then it's just like, just pick the right entity, provide the right information for it. And yeah, if you want to list, then you get back the information from Google BigQuery itself. Now, taking you to the demo quickly. So what I prepared as a simple demo for us to look at today is we said we would subscribe to Google PubSub. So what I did here, we took our own Google PubSub setup and we created a subscription. You would see here, this is gRPC based. So we create that subscription. And then after that, we would just subscribe to order create a subscription for the topic order create. And we would, once we get that, we would just do two steps, simple steps. One of them would be to go to the Google Cloud storage and then just put the backup of the data there. And the second step would be to, for example, call, in this case, a backend CRM application, which would actually create an order for you and send you back a response, which then you can store it in another Google PubSub topic, which is the create order create response topic. So let me quickly do that in the background, publish a message. So I have my publishing application open. I just published a message. Let's look in the logging. And you would see here at 16:23 CET, I have a new message coming into Google PubSub for this specific integration flow. Now, with this, let me quickly show you the background Google Cloud Storage bucket of ours. Let me refresh this. So this was the first step of the archiving. So if everything went okay, like the iFlow says, it's all green, I should have one message here, which just ran with the information that I just pushed towards it, right? So let's go look here. Let's download it and look at it. This is the JSON that I pushed, and this order ID 1537 was the one that I pushed towards it. So that you will see here incoming. Then if everything worked okay, I would also see the same here in the subscription of mine, because we said if everything goes okay, the order should be created and this should be updated. So let me pull the messages which are there from the subscription topic, and you would see this order ID. So order 1537 with a body with status order created successfully. Now let's look how we did that in the Google PubSub receiver. So you would see that here. What I also did is just to show you quickly how you can utilize the message attributes, and that's where we put the order ID. And we took it from the property of the incoming message and we passed it towards, which you can then validate also at the side of the Google Cloud, Google PubSub in the subscription. So with this, you see how fast it is. I just published the message. The subscription is already running. It's listening. The second you get the message, it comes here, kicks off the whole process, and executes multiple steps as you go through it. Yeah, so in short, that concludes my demo. Let me go back to my slide deck. Just looking at the time, let me first tell you how you can stay tuned, and then I can take additional questions. If you do have it, please put them in the Q&A so I can either answer them live if we have enough time, or otherwise I will reach out to you and then provide a response in the email together with help of my colleagues if I cannot answer them now. How to stay tuned? So you, like I mentioned, you have the possibility to influence the roadmap and the features of the adapter that we just saw, or the new ones as well. And for that, you can go to the influence.sap.com, and here you can just put any additional requests that you have. Along with that, if you have any trouble in setting up the adapter, or you think, okay, there's an urgent feature requirement on our side that we would really want to check or have it in as part of the adapter, go ahead and raise a ticket to this component. It would be routed to our team, and they can, look together, help out. Um, if you're starting a new project in this area and would require some support, and you think it would be wise to do a deep dive, a use case analysis or so with us, then we reserve certain hours on our side where we can help you do smoke tests or initial setup for your use case. So reach out to us. That is something that we can plan, and then we can do a technical deep dive with you specifically for your business case. And along with that, tune into the monthly integration suite webinar that we have, which is the last Tuesday of every month. Our webinars at Rojo and the Discovery Center missions. So with those, you would be able to stay in touch and know more things which are upcoming. If you're interested, you can book an hour discovery session with us as well, where we take you through various possibilities and answer your technical questions if you have any. Let me look at the Q&A. I have 2 minutes remaining, so it's loading on my side. I see a question regarding the GCP on-prem support available on receiver adapter. By on-prem support, you mean the cloud connector connectivity, right? So you could do the on-prem support through two ways. You could do it through Edge Integration Cell. So like I mentioned, all three adapters are supported in Edge Integration Cell. So you can run them through that. And we are also supporting Cloud Connector in these adapters. I have to see either they already have a productive version with Cloud Connector or it's coming. When it comes to the REST one, there you should have it. So both ways we would be supporting the on-premise connectivity. So that was the question in the Q&A. Let me see the chat. When is this adapter going to be live in the BTP integration, BTP IS tenants? Do you mean integration suite tenants? Because these adapters are already live, all three of them. So if you are on integration suite standard license and above, you would be able to use these adapters out of the box. You don't have to download them from anywhere. They are fully integrated within the cloud integration itself. So all you have to do is when you drag for selecting, a receiver or a sender, there just pick the adapter from the dropdown. If the adapter does not exist in your system, it would be downloaded and installed in the background for you. Okay. So thank you so much for joining. That is the webinar from my side. And if you have any more questions, feel free to reach out. Oh, yeah, I see one more query. SAP AI adapter, when it will be launched. The AI adapter is undergoing the final steps of the release, and we aim to release it within the month of July. So this month itself. So at max 3 to 4 weeks, you would have it ready to use. Okay, thank you so much, everybody. Have a nice day ahead.